Welcome to Massive Late Fee. And now your hosts, Mark and Carol. Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Massive Late Fee. My name is Mark. With me, as always, is my fiance, Carol. How you doing today, Carol?
Hey, what's up?
How much has been a good week here? It is April 11th, 1998. Almost Easter.
Almost. I can taste the chocolate bunnies now.
Oh, my God. I can hear their screams. Not the ears.
But the ears are the best part.
Oh, my God. I heard somebody in the bank the other day. I was standing in line in the bank. I heard somebody say, yeah, I like to start by eating the ears first. And I was really hoping he was talking about chocolate bunnies.
Right.
Though, speaking of, I guess, dolls? Candy?
What? What is happening?
Something? I'm trying to link this in somehow. Greenfield Village is allowing girls to step back in time.
Okay. That's cool.
To a time when they had no rights. No, apparently there's something called an American Girl doll.
Okay.
Have you heard of American Girl dolls?
Yes, of course I have. My mother's obsessed with dolls.
So, Greenfield Village is offering young girls and their moms, grandmas, and favorite aunts, but not unfavored aunts, a trip back to the turn of the century. It's a chance to try on floral bonnets and ermine muffs, ride in a Model T Ford, create a keepsake treasure box, learn a few basic housekeeping chores, and march in a suffrage rally.
Ah.
Best of all, for the girls who collect American Girls dolls, I guess. So both are plurals? American Girls dolls?
Sure.
I thought so. It's not American Girl doll, it's American Girls dolls.
Okay.
It's a chance to step into the life of a beloved doll, Samantha Parkington, the spunky 9-year-old heroine who's featured in her own historic novel. They've written a historic novel starring an American Girls doll. What do you think?
My mom is going to be so excited, and I'm going to have to buy her this and take her there.
Yeah, Greenfield Village.
I like Greenfield Village.
It's fine. So that's a local thing for all you people out there. It's basically like I think they do like Colonial Williamsburg and stuff like that in Virginia, where Williamsburg was.
Okay.
Or I mean Massachusetts, where Williamsburg was. No, Williamsburg was in Virginia. I don't know. I'm confusing myself.
What does Williamsburg have to do with Greenfield Village?
No, I'm saying it's Colonial Williamsburg is the same idea as Greenfield Village. It's a section that it's like a museum, basically, a living museum that they've cordoned off, and it's everyone. They've actors that work there and everything, and I can feel the seething hate of your frustration of listening to me talk. Is this how you listeners experience it? Are you're listening to the episode and your faces are just contorted in fucking rage? Trying to describe what Greenfield Village is. Mm-hmm. Go ahead. Say what you want to say.
It's an immersive experience. It's connected, by the way, to the Henry Ford Museum, which is another local thing, but like Detroit, Henry Ford. So that's why they get to go on a ride in the Model T and all that stuff. And they have like an actual working farm with like a petting zoo, and you can learn how to like make your own butter and candles and glass blowing and like all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I had some details I wanted to share as you were fumbling through trying to come up with some comparable idea to it.
Holy shit.
Love you.
Oh my God. What frustration. But you know what? If you've got a baby that's frustrated, introduce them to the Babe Magnet. I guess there's 4 of them. Apparently, there's a show from England that's coming to American TV called Teletubbies.
Oh my God, those things look like the stuff nightmares are made of.
Exactly.
Holy shit.
Look at this picture from the paper.
They're like little gremlins.
It is Tinky Winky, La La, Dipsy, Poe. And I think what's the most frightening, look at this one, his face. That is a serial killer face.
I mean,
From
oh my
La
God.
La.
Oh.
They have no noses and no, like, they've got giant eyes and a gaping maw of a mouth, but no eyebrows or any kind of other discernible human features.
No, well, they're not human. That's for sure.
No, they've all got some sort of weird shape on their head like they're aliens.
They look like maybe they're like living dolls. I don't know.
Let's hear what Mike Duffy, Captain Videophile, has got to say about it. He gives it 3 stars, so... the latest in eye candy Muppet Mania? Question mark.
What?
Right this way for Teletubbies, a whimsically bizarre, splashily colorful show for very young children that revolves around the fuzzy wuzzy world of 4 cheerful little niblets named Tinky Winky, Dipsy, Lala, and Poe. A sensation since it debuted in England last year, where it has sparked gaga pandemonium and now a backlash of controversy and criticism. Teletubbies lands in America starting today, 11 p.m., weekdays on PBS. Let's call it a baby-talking British invasion. Why is it controversial, though? Teletubbies, styled to appeal to teensy TV viewers as young as 1, joins the illustrious PBS preschool programming collective that includes Sesame Street and Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, as well as such other wildly praised children's television series as Wishbone. I don't know that one. The Magic School Bus and Arthur.
I remember the Magic School Bus.
In the bright green hills of Teletubby Land, our quartet of roly-poly futuristic rugrats frolics among flowers under a friendly sun that has a smiling, cooing baby face. What the fuck? The sun is a baby's face? Okay, so, I don't know. We don't have children, but if we did, I don't think we would be letting them watch this.
No.
It's fucking weird, right?
Yes.
That
sounds awful. I mean, it sounds like the kind of thing that maybe people would like get high and watch, but
yeah, I guess. But I mean, get high and like fucking freak out,
right?
Did you imagine the paranoia of watching?
It's looking at me.
Teletubbies. Oh my god.
Yeah, I won't be experiencing that.
And then last bit of news. ICP, the Insane Clown Posse, is starting another tour in May. Right in time for your birthday, Karen.
Oh boy,
yeah,
you know how much I love the Insane Clown Posse.
They're going in England. You know, it occurs to me, though, if you're in a clown posse, you don't have to tell us you're insane.
Right.
We know.
Exactly.
No one's out here thinking you're in an emotionally stable clown posse.
For sure.
But, Carol, speaking of emotionally stable, we watched a movie this week.
Oh, this was not emotionally stable. Not at all.
Why don't you tell us about City of Angels?
So, yeah, City of Angels, Meg Ryan and Nicolas Cage.
You know what I was thinking when you said we're going to go see City of Angels? Mm-hmm. I was like, oh my god, it's going to be a movie about a city just filled with David Boreanaz. I'm coming for you, Buffy.
That would be weird. No, this movie takes place in Los Angeles, but it's also all about angels who, for some reason, in this movie walk around in black trench coats.
Yeah, it's so weird.
What is that about?
I don't know. It's ominous in a weird way. There are a couple scenes where what's his name? Nicolas Cage, Seth.
Yeah.
Did he name himself?
I don't know.
Or is he just Angel Seth?
Who knows?
What a weird name. Because if you were going to pick a name, I wouldn't pick Seth.
No.
But anyway, so he's doing things that the angels may or may not approve of. Hard to say because they wear the blank faces of a severely autistic person.
Right? You know, his friend's name was Cassiel.
Cassiel, yeah.
That sounds so much more like an angel name.
Than Seth?
Yes.
God's giving out names, and he's like, Aziziel, fucking Gabriel, Cassiel, Seth.
So weird. I guess he was just like the defective angel because
Right.
he had a weird name and he got all obsessed with people.
I can just see, like, he names him Seth, and he's like, "Aw." But yeah, his friend is played by the dude from Homicide: Life on the Streets, Andre Braugher. He's a very good actor.
His friend has emotions, and he has emotions, but none of the other angels seem to have emotions.
Oh, that's what I was saying. Yeah, so sometimes when they're doing something that we don't know if they approve of or disapprove of, they all gather and stare in their fucking black trench coats with their blank eyes.
I know. I
like
thought
a bunch of Teletubbies.
I thought they were going to like attack at one point, like because it's like what the fuck? They just look so creepy.
Yeah, it's fucking weird.
But the movie starts out. It made me cry right away, which pissed me off.
Oh yeah.
But this little girl has a temperature, and her mom's praying, and
How old do you think she was supposed to be? Like 5, 6?
yeah, real little. And she has a temperature of 105.
Yeah. Maybe you waited too long there, Mom. I mean, no, not to blame, but
That's mean. She probably was trying to treat it. She probably gave her Tylenol, and it just kept going up instead of down or whatever,
Right,
I mean,
yeah.
I'm assuming. Who knows?
Yeah.
I had a temperature of 103.6 once.
Oh, nice.
How about you? What's the highest your temperature's ever been? Just curious.
I believe I hit 104.1 at some point.
Ooh, that's awful.
Yeah, no good.
But so the mom's drawing this girl an ice bath, and our main character, Seth, is introduced by being the creepy man in a black trench coat just staring at this scene.
Swatching her. And she looks over. The little girl can see him.
Yeah.
It's clear that the mom can't. Mm-hmm. One thing, and this speaks to more than just this one scene. I liked this movie.
Yeah.
Quite a bit, actually.
I liked it. I didn't like the ending, but I liked it.
One thing that this movie does very well is establish a world of angels. Mm-hmm. Really, like, what the rules are. I feel like I understood exactly what the world of angels was without it being, like, hit over the head.
Yeah.
Like, they developed the story and developed the world at the same time. I thought they did a very good job of that.
I agree. Then they're in the hospital, so mom obviously called 911, and he's just staring at this girl, and then all of a sudden she's standing with him, but her dead body's on the table, and she's flatlining her, and her mom's crying, and it's awful. And she's like, "Where are we going?" And he says, "Home." Mm-hmm. Can mommy come? No. Like, that's so awful. And then,
he just looks at her and he's like, "Never. She's going someplace else."
no, he did not say that. But she said something like she's not going to understand.
Yeah, she said that, yeah.
Like, do you understand? Is that what happens? You die and then you understand everything? Like,
Maybe, I don't know.
She seemed very calm for dying, so. Don't you think?
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, like, she didn't cry. Her mom was crying. She was fine.
Well, who knows? Like, she'd become something else at that point, right?
What do you
You're
mean?
looking confused. Like, well, she's a spirit.
Well,
now.
yeah.
So she's not a human anymore. So who knows? They did not establish what the rules for people who died are.
Right.
Just that they go someplace else.
Home.
And they can't become angels.
Yeah. Angels and people are different things, which is what I believe, too. Because, I mean, that's what the Bible says.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Let's get into your personal beliefs
Okay,
about
fine.
angels.
I'm just saying. I liked how they portrayed the angels.
You know, if angels existed, then the California Angels would win more games.
I didn't love, though, like, the angels did a lot of just standing around staring and not a lot of helping.
They did some helping.
Some.
But, I mean, what are they supposed to do? They can't control all actions.
Well, yeah, because people have free will.
Yeah, they mentioned that.
Yeah. Like, at one point, there's, like, a robbery, and both the angels are there putting their hands on the guy being robbed and the guy robbing.
They're calming them down.
Yeah.
They're helping ameliorate the situation.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess that is helpful. But, like, why not save the little girl's life, then? Like, if you can do something.
He also helped an air traffic controller.
Yeah.
They don't save anyone's life directly, really.
No.
I mean, my assumption was that the the point of the movie is when it's your time to die, it's your time to die. That everyone has free will, but that our deaths are predestined.
Yeah.
Because the little girls seemed predestined. And later, when Maggie, she's a surgeon, has performed a surgery, done everything by the book exactly right, and the patient crashes anyway for no discernible reason. Mm-hmm. And she tries to save him. She massages the heart. Absolutely nothing she tries works. And he dies. And she has a crisis of confidence where she's like, then what do I matter? Mm-hmm. Which is kind of a weird existential crisis thought. If that's the case, if all of our deaths are predetermined, then it doesn't matter how good or bad your doctor is.
Yeah.
They're not going to be able to save you or kill you if it's not your time to go or it is your time to go.
I guess that's true, but there's a lot of, in between that doctors can help with.
Right, for sure. Quality of life and things like that.
I mean, if he hadn't died, she would have massively improved his quality of life with the, bypass surgery.
Right. But so that's what it seems like part of the thesis of the movie is. And then I guess we can get into spoilers, right away.
Yeah, so pause it and go watch the movie if you haven't.
Right. So she dies, Maggie, at the end of the movie, and her death also seems predetermined. He even says at one point, he's pissed off with Andre Braugher and everything, and he's like, Castiel, and he says, why? Because her number was up or whatever?
He says there's nothing I could do.
Yeah, and it's implied that it's just like, that was her time. That was when she was going to die. She was always going to die at that time.
So I wonder if in another alternate reality, if that exists in this world, which I guess it probably doesn't, if she would have been with the other guy.
She would have been there for whatever reason.
Because she was dating somebody else.
A dude, I think his name's Colm, is this the actor's first name? But he always reminds me of the dad from Family Ties. I've seen him. He's like a character actor, and I've seen him in a few other things, but he looks like Michael Gross. I think that's the guy's name, the dad from Family Ties. But they're not related.
Interesting. But, she's dating this guy, and he has, no personality and no emotion.
No, not at all. He proposes to her, and he's like, hey, let's get married. Why don't we? We're alike, you and I. We're both the same. We know the job. We can get married. We can have it done, and we can get back by Monday and not even miss any patients or anything. And it's like, what the fuck?
But he had glassy eyes, like he might have been tearing up. Like he seemed emotional for him.
Sure.
In the scene.
Yeah.
She didn't seem in any way receptive.
No.
So, I don't know. I don't know why.
She was thinking about Nicolas Cage.
Well, yeah, okay, because she feels so awful about this patient dying. She goes in the stairwell and cries. Nicolas Cage sees her cry. He also felt like she saw him.
When she was trying to save the life.
Yeah, so he gets obsessed with her because he feels like she saw him or knew he was there or whatever.
Yeah.
So he's kind of like stalking her invisibly. And he
right, exactly.
But he wants to help and make her feel better because she's all distraught.
The best kind of stalking.
So he chooses to reveal himself, which is a thing they can do.
Yeah, exactly. And they can expose themselves to people if they want.
Make
Just
it
like
sound
that
dirty.
guy in the trench coat.
Well, and Castiel even says and brings up a very good point. Why do you want to, do that? Like, yes, you can show yourself to her, but why?
Yeah, exactly.
He never answers it. It's because he likes her and he wants to. I mean, that's all there is, really.
He's in love with her. He's obsessed with humanity. Mm-hmm. He goes to the library. Of course, I guess all of them, like a lot of them.
There was a ton of them in there, yeah.
They go to the library and because they can hear people's thoughts.
So, yeah, people are reading it. It's like an audiobook.
Yeah, and so is that how you think? When you read, do you think in the sentences?
Sometimes, like I was reading out loud to my niece the other day, right? Mm-hmm. And I realized I'm reading out loud. I'm speaking the words, but my mind is not focused on that. Like sometimes I'm amazed because I'm like, am I really saying these words? Because my mind is seeing this story in my brain. Like
right.
That's how I read. I see the story. But I assume the words and the sentences go with it too. So
most of the time when I'm thinking, I think in words.
Okay.
Like I think in dialogue, I guess, is you could say. But when I read, and when I write too, because I write as well. When I read and write, I almost always think in pictures. Like there's a movie in my head. And then if I'm writing, I'm describing what I'm seeing and, then hearing the dialogue. That's a bit like words. But that's how I think. So I think in both ways.
Yeah.
I think, because there are people that think conceptually. They just think in concepts or in pictures or whatever. And there are people that think in words. And I do both in different aspects.
I think most people do both. It's been like my experience. I've only met one person that actually only thought in words.
I've met a person that's only thinks in pictures. They're amazed. They're like, you like think words in your head? I'm like, yeah. It was like an alien concept to them.
Well, like this dude, I was talking to him on the phone, and he was like, I can say this is what you look like. I can tell you what you look like, but I can't picture you.
Ooh, weird.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Now, this particular person had some brain damage, so I don't know if that had something to do with it. But
what initials?
SQ.
Okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I mean, that could have been part of it, but that's the weirdest thing I ever heard in my life. Like, could not picture anything.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Okay.
Can't be a writer then.
No, because you have to be able to describe something. How can you describe if you can't imagine it?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it like you could do it, but like it would fall flat. So, like if you only think in words, if you can't picture something, because when you're writing, you're making stuff up. So, like if you can't picture it, you're not going to notice the small details and the little things that people can have a common frame of reference to that actually brings it to life. It would just feel very flat.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Like Hemingway. No.
Right. Well, you could maybe do like a screenplay or something like that where the director or somebody else fills the images in.
Yeah, it's all just the dialogue.
But yeah, no, Hemingway was okay at describing things, I guess. But at least the scenery.
Apparently, he could describe food.
Right, exactly. They never forgot to describe what food tasted like or whatever. That's why, what's his name?
Nicolas Cage.
Seth liked him so much
because angels can't experience any kind of touch or taste or smell. Or I mean, obviously they can see and hear.
Right, but they can't experience a lot of things that people can. So, but they experience other things that people can't. Like they hear the fucking sun singing a song as it rises and sets or whatever. It's like an angel choir or something, but it's the music of nature, the stuff we can't hear.
It also seemed to be like teleportation.
Yeah.
I mean, like they talk about wings, but the way they talked about wings, I'm not sure they had them.
No, I don't think so. What's his name? Dennis Franz is like that you travel by the speed of thought or whatever. So it's like basically he just thinks he's somewhere and he's there.
Because the little girl who died, she wanted to be an angel and she wanted wings. And when they explained to her,
she can't be an angel.
Then she's like, well, they also explained, I guess, about what it's like to be an angel or whatever. She's like, what's the point of wings if you can't feel the wind in your face?
Exactly. Because he's like, maybe I should make her a set of paper wings. But it also implies that he visited her to wherever she went. Heaven, presumably.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like he spent time with her.
Yeah, so they can also go to heaven if they want to. But they spend a lot of time on Earth for whatever reason, just helping people or whatever, observing. Who knows?
Yeah, it's weird.
That's a weird existence. Like I would not want to be an angel under those circumstances.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's almost like being a ghost.
Yeah, and forever, for eternity, or until Christ comes back or the world ends or whatever, this version of the world, in the movie believes. But yeah, just a weird situation.
But yeah, so he reveals himself to Maggie to tell her that, it wasn't her fault.
Yeah.
And he said that they were living just not the way that she thinks of it or something like that.
Exactly.
I don't know.
He is very overt about the fact that he's not a human.
Yeah.
But he doesn't come right out and say it.
And so then when she's walking away and she turns around and he's gone, like if I were her, I would have thought I've had a supernatural encounter.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
She didn't seem to make that connection at all.
Well, she also implies that she's kind of an atheist.
Yeah, that's true.
at the beginning until she had that experience, though. Then she felt like there was something more.
Yeah.
The experience of her patient dying. But her next patient is Dennis Franz. Can't remember his first name, Carl or something like that. Messenger.
Yeah. His last name is Messenger.
Which, I mean...
Yeah, it was a little heavy-handed.
Yeah, a little bit.
And he smuggles food in. That's hilarious. Like, to the hospital. He's waiting to have a heart surgery. He's eating Ben and Jerry's.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, yeah, where did he get that? They ask. He never answers.
He fucking snuck out. He knows his ways.
Yeah.
But so, he has his surgery. He ends up being fine and everything. And he's recovering. And then he just says, he's in the room alone, and he says, hey, you know what? I know you're there, and you can tell them I'm not coming back right now. Like, somebody made a mistake. It's not my time. I don't feel like I'm dying, whatever. And then Nicolas Cage reveals himself. He's like, what the... He's like, you can tell I'm here? And he's like, yeah. And it turns out that Dennis Franz used to be an angel. But he fell, presumably because he fell in love with...
Yeah, it sounded like it was on purpose.
With the woman that... he said it is on purpose for sure. Because he says, you decide. That's like what... An angel can become a human being if they decide to fall. Essentially.
Mm-hmm. So, but most of the time, the term fallen angel refers to a demon, not
like Satan.
a human. So that's kind of weird. It's a weird take.
But so, he's got a wife, grandkids. Like human beings that wouldn't have existed had he not done this. It's weird. It's kind of weird.
It is weird. And
what DNA is he holding?
Well, and if everything's predetermined, then it was predetermined that he'd fall and father all these people.
But I don't think everything's predetermined. They mentioned free will more than once.
Yeah.
And I think that not everything's predetermined, but people's deaths are.
Interesting.
Their deaths are predetermined, but besides that, they have free will.
Just got to make sure you get to point B from point A.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Well, I think, so she maybe didn't necessarily need to even be up there at Lake Tahoe to die. It's just she was going to die wherever she was at that time.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so he decides that he will fall to be with her.
Right.
And this is after he finds out, he thinks about it for a while. There's a few different times she's like, I don't want to see you, go away, go away.
She knows he's an angel.
Yeah, he tells her,
it eventually comes out that he's an angel.
Yeah. The other dude, the fallen angel dude he talks to, says that he never told his wife because he didn't want to do that to her.
Yeah, he tried to a couple times, but he's like, yeah, they're not, they wouldn't understand. They're not ready for it or whatever. But
Nicolas Cage has no qualms about doing that to Meg Ryan.
Right, exactly.
So, yeah, he finds out that the guy has proposed marriage to her, and she decides that she's going to accept. She goes and seeks him out to tell him that.
Yeah.
And that's when he falls. That's when he's like, fuck this, I got to get in there.
Yep.
It's ridiculous.
I got to get in there.
This is the point where the movie gets a little ridiculous.
Yeah, so the majority of the movie is him as an angel struggling with his feelings for her struggling to make sense of the world. And the movie does a lot of very good emotional connecting between the characters, development of the characters. Everything's going well, and it's very good. After he falls, the movie doesn't know what to do anymore. It loses its way. And it feels like it's sprinting to the finish line.
Yeah.
It feels like the screenwriter was like, I know how I want this to end. The emotional gut punch to the end. And so we just got to get there. That's what it feels like.
Yeah. So when he falls, he gets hurt, which makes sense. I mean, he would be dead if he was an actual human who'd fallen from the top of a skyscraper. Yeah. But his face is smashed. He's bleeding and stuff. He has no money.
Nope.
The other fallen angel warned him, it hurts and you're hungry.
You'll
and
smell.
All this
You're going
stuff.
to be tired as hell.
But he's so happy. He's dancing around, singing happy, like a lunatic in a black trench coat with blood running down his face.
Right.
And like, he should have been picked up and like put in a mental institution.
No shit. That would have been a very different movie. He just gets fucking institutionalized.
Right. But he does find his way to the hospital by chasing ambulances because he's looking for her. And then
he becomes a lawyer in the process.
Right. He gets told by one of her doctor friends that she went away to get married.
Mm-hmm. In Lake Tahoe, where her uncle has a cabin. It's a cabin that's been mentioned a few times.
And he just jumps up and starts running. Like, you're going to run from LA to Lake Tahoe? Like, what?
Yeah, he doesn't even know where it is.
He should have asked the lady, hey, can you help me get there? Like, whatever.
What I think is funny, too, is so he's hitchhiking because he realizes he doesn't have any money, right? And this car stops, and he gets this smile on his face, and he's like, because he's like, help me, or whatever. And this car stops, and he gets a smile on his face, like, you helped me, Andre Braugher. And they all, the 4 dudes jump out and just beat the shit out of him.
And steal his shoes.
It's so funny.
Were they really good shoes? I mean, I know this has happened.
They were angel shoes.
Right. I know this has happened, but it's supposed to be for, like, those $200, like, really good shoes.
The Jordans.
Yeah, whatever. Stuff, yeah. Not some scuzzy black
Doc
boots.
Martens or something like that.
Right.
I don't know. But yeah, so then a semi-truck stops by, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to Reno. Like, I'll take you or whatever. And then we see Andre Braugher just smiling, so it's like, that's when he helped him.
Yeah.
But he also let him get the shit beat out of him.
Well, maybe he was busy doing something else.
Maybe they would have knifed him if he hadn't intervened or something. We don't know. But so he gets up to Reno.
To Reno, yeah.
And he's just like wandering around, like, what the fuck am I going to do? And then he sees a phone book, and he's at her door.
Yeah, explain. We need more of a leap. Just like, I remember there was another point in the movie where I'm thinking, like, we need more explanation. Like, there was a few times that they want you to take a leap with them.
Right.
But you don't know where you're jumping.
Exactly.
So how'd he get there?
It's a leap of faith, Carol.
I mean, I guess maybe we're supposed to think that he looked up her uncle's address in this phone book and then hitchhiked there.
It's got to be in his name, right?
Right. I mean, what the hell? But, I mean, I guess we're supposed to suspend disbelief. He found his way to her in this cabin.
And that's all that matters.
So then they have fucking gross, weird sex.
Oh, my God.
It is so uncomfortable.
It's the weirdest thing in the world. I didn't think that a sex scene between two, reasonably attractive stars on screen could be so uncomfortable.
It's okay. We're meant to fit together. Is he a child? Why are you explaining this to him?
Yeah, that's the thing, too, because that's fucking creepy if you think about it. But, so, earlier in the movie, he's an angel.
Right.
And so he can't experience anything. So she's, like, eating a pear, and he's like, describe to me what it tastes like. And she's like, it's like sugary sand and all that stuff and everything. And he's like, oh, it's cool. I could eat a peach for hours or whatever he says. And then he's like, but he keeps asking her to describe different things, right? And so when they're having sex, she's like, first of all, it looks like they've been computer generated together. Like they weren't even in the same room or something. It's weird. Like, I don't know if it's the cinematography. I don't know what it is, but it looks weird.
It does.
And she's like, describe to me what you're feeling or whatever. And he's like, I can't. And she's like, do it anyway. If we were having sex and you were like, describe to me your feelings, I'd be like, disgust now. And I'd get, what I mean? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
what a weird, off-putting thing to say to somebody.
Yeah. The whole thing was just gross and weird.
So then he's like trying to describe being inside of her, I guess. And then she's like, "Oh, we fit together," and it's all weird. It's the weirdest sex scene I have ever seen in my life.
I mean, it literally, like, instead of being arousing, it made me queasy.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
So they're all happy from the weird sex.
Yep.
And he's taking a shower. Like, that's supposed to be, like, a big deal.
Yeah, by the way, Dennis Franz was like, you fucking reek and you smell and everything and you're dirty and shit because, you become a human for the first time, right? He didn't take a shower before they had sex. This dude fucking hitchhiked, had a dog laying all over his lap, got the shit beat out of him.
Right?
Fucking ran from Reno up to to Lake Tahoe and everything. And then they had gross, sweaty, weird sex.
He
Take a
finally
shower
gets a shower.
Like, she should have been like, oh my God, you're here and you're human. Ooh, there's a shower over there. Before we get into anything.
Oh, God. Yeah, it's just the whole end of this movie is weird.
Yeah.
She has gone to the market to buy food. Mm-hmm. She wants him to experience eating a pear.
Right. Yep.
And she happily rides her bike because she rides a bicycle everywhere.
Yeah.
And she's riding her bike back from the store with groceries.
Sure.
And no hands on the handlebars.
I know.
What are you doing, lady? Her eyes are like, she's looking up at the sky. Her eyes are shut. Like, why are we doing a trust fall on a bicycle in the mountains? So, I mean, you're getting kind of a bad vibe, kind of a bad feeling.
Sure.
But then this truck comes out of nowhere and it doesn't hit her.
A logging truck.
She hits it.
She rides her bike into the side of a logging truck, which then kills her.
I don't understand. Like,
did she throw herself into the logs?
I don't understand.
I don't know how you die from... If a car hit her, that makes sense. But she rode her bike. It's not even like this car was going 30 miles an hour.
Right.
It was stopped and making a turn. And she hit the side of it at whatever, the maybe 15 miles
maybe,
an hour
yeah.
She's riding her bike. And that's booking, really, if she's going that fast. And like you said, she was no-handed. She was probably only going like between 5 and 10 miles an hour.
And I mean, she did open her eyes and see it for a couple seconds before
How did she
hit
not
it.
Stop?
Like, yeah, just fall. That would have been better. Just fall to the side.
You know what I think happened? I think her eyes were closed. She opened up. She saw that truck. And then she flashed back to the creepy fucking sex they just had. And she was like, you know what would be better? Just taking myself out of here. I think that's what happened. She didn't have the heart to tell him, like, maybe let's go our separate ways. The sex wasn't good, and she took herself out.
But then he runs to the scene, so she must have been very close to this house. Like, how he even knew, I don't know.
Yeah, he knows.
And, like, they say goodbye to each other.
Yep.
And then the rest of the movie is just him being depressed.
Yeah, there's not much left to the movie after that.
But
they go to a funeral, he hangs out with Dennis Franz, and Dennis Franz kind of gives him a look like, hey,
And, yeah, at the end, he goes body surfing while the angels are listening to the sun or whatever.
Right. And it's like, all right.
So he gave up being an angel to be with her, and all they did was have one night.
Yeah.
It's stupid. Like, we invest all this time into this movie for that.
I want to see City of Angels 2, where he just has a series of one-night stands.
I want them to stop the movie right when they're done having the weird, creepy sex.
Right.
And they're happy.
Yep.
That would have been better.
It was... So, I didn't love the ending either. I get the idea of, that it's supposed to be a tragedy and everything, and feeling that loss is part of... It's all supposed to be part of the human experience. Like, that's what the movie's supposed to be.
Right.
All the emotions and things that we all go through, and a loss like that is something that most of us are going to have to experience at some point. So I get it. And there's obviously themes of death and rebirth in the movie. The Ernest Hemingway book that they kind of feature in the movie is A Movable Feast, which is the name of a holiday that moves days each year, or moves dates each year. Day stays the same, like
Easter.
Like Thanksgiving's a movable feast, and like I said, like Easter coming up is a movable feast, and Easter has the theme of death and rebirth. And I think that, this movie also, carries that theme over.
Interesting.
So, in general, I liked it.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. it's probably even worth seeing on the big screen. It's just really weird.
There's some odd things about it. The first 2/3 of the movie, I think, are very good.
Yes. And it has a really good soundtrack.
Yeah. I like the soundtrack. Iris and that Angels song.
Yeah.
Arms of the Angels. But yeah, it's like I said, the movie to me has a pacing problem.
Yeah.
Where it's the last third of the movie is like, let's sprint to the finish, get her killed.
Yeah, and I don't like that part. So.
But I think you were gonna say something about the Alanis Morissette song in this.
The sticky pistons and stamens and stuff.
No, that's I thought the Alanis Morissette song was the one that was over the end credits.
Oh, I liked that song, but I did not like the gross, like, they play this song that just if it had a smell, it would smell like sex. You know what I mean? It's just like heavy, and she's like, I think, masturbating in the bathtub thinking about him.
Something. And
he's sitting there listening to her thoughts.
Oh,
like, what the fuck? This movie is weird, guys. It's just fucked up and weird.
But yeah, they're playing this song that's like, my sticky stamen in your pestle, or whatever. Which is like, what kind of fucking biology kink is
right?
this song aiming at? And then it's talking about
Amazon running between my thighs.
My thighs. Yeah, like, what the fuck?
Oh.
That's okay. We can change those sheets. It's weird. Yeah, there's some weird stuff about this.
Yeah,
movie.
I mean, it's an enjoyable movie, but when you actually dissect it, it's questionable.
But what's not questionable, Carol, is that this is the end of the show.
It is. So you can write us at latefee1994@AOL.com.
Yes.
Check out our website at www.retrolatefee.com.
Oh, yeah.
And share the tapes with your friends.
All right, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.